Look, I have seen some things. I have watched a man try to eat a live owl because he was convinced it was a ghost-flavored burrito. And I have witnessed the specific hunger in people's eyes as they stare at the last slice of pizza at a funeral reception. I once saw two grown adults fist fight over a parking spot at a Build-A-Bear workshop. But nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing, is as terrifying or as fundamentally spiritually sticky as the way famous people systematically destroy each other while smiling for photographers. So, welcome to the Mulroney Markle divorce apocalypse of 2025, or 2026 for that matter. Pour yourself something strong, preferably a beverage that kills brain cells fast enough to outrun the psychic damage currently sprinting towards your consciousness. The phrase of the week is penetrating conversations. That is the term Lady C is using to describe what Jessica Mulroney allegedly discovered lurking in her husband's digital sock drawer. Now, in the world of high society divorce, penetrating is apparently code for I found text messages that strongly imply you were doing things with various body parts that definitely did not involve a prayer circle or any form of Bible study. According to the Gossip Mill, Jessica didn't just stumble upon a stray "you up?" text from 2017. No, she excavated an entire digital archaeology site of betrayal. We're talking about phone logs, archived messages, timestamps, metadata, maybe even dick pics, but not from Nacho this time. I don't know. I have no way to tell, but the Mulroney Markle timeline is so damning it could be submitted as evidence in a court case titled "The Universe versus Human Decency." So, the emerging theory is that Meghan Markle wasn't just Jessica's ride-or-die best friend forever. She was allegedly treating the Mulroney marriage like a rental car she fully intended to drive directly into a lake while filming herself for a documentary about resilience. But if you examine the history here with any degree of attention, it's like watching a horror movie where the blonde protagonist keeps descending into the basement despite a neon sign that screams "free chainsaw vascular surgery, no appointment necessary." So this started around 2011. Meghan and Jessica became soulmates in Toronto. And the prevailing theory on Reddit is that Meghan wasn't particularly interested in Jessica's fashion advice or her thoughts on seasonal color palettes. She was interested in Jessica's husband, Ben, the son of a former Canadian Prime Minister. He wasn't the destination indeed. He was the ladder. He was a strategic stepping stone in a game nobody else knew was being played. But we know that's the kind of games Meghan knows how to play. So in 2018, peak wedding time, this was the summit of the friendship. Jessica's children were there. She served as this unofficial maid of honor, the trusted confidant, the woman who knew where all the good bathrooms were in Kensington Palace. But in retrospect, Jessica was reportedly she has described this glorious moment as a dark cloud, which is the kind of thing you say when you realize you invited that one problematic uncle to your dinner party and he's now consuming everyone's life energy and sense of self-worth. And then came the great ghosting of 2020 and the white privilege scandal. Jessica got cancelled harder than imagine a children's cartoon about a pit bull that exclusively attacks orphans. Well, Meghan didn't just distance herself. She deleted Jessica from the simulation entirely, like discarding that extra selfie you took because one of your eyes of you looked off. But Jessica reportedly entered a spiral involving antidepressants and intensive therapy, while Ben quit his television job in solidarity, which is rich person dialect for the house is actively burning. And I am going to sit in the yard pretending to water plants that have already died, but that's all that I can do. Some corners of the digital wilderness are theorizing that these penetrating conversations weren't merely evidence of a standard extramarital situation. We are talking rumors of transactional seduction, harsh speculation about Ben's allegedly complicated sexuality being wielded as leverage, and even, my God, may God have mercy on our souls and our collective consciousness. Threesome scenarios involving mutual friend Marcus Anderson. I am just paraphrasing what is out there in the internet. This is, hard to digest. So the theory suggests that Meghan collects powerful, connected men like rare Pokemon cards, allegedly using strategic seduction to access the inner sanctums of the global elite. That checks out for Meghan, indeed. So Jessica is reportedly confiding to friends that Meghan infiltrated her marriage for personal gain, which is a hell of a realization to have a full decade after you enthusiastically lent someone your favorite designer heels and your complete trust. So by late 2025, the Mulroney marriage is officially irreversibly cooked. Done. Finished. Jessica has been photographed without her wedding ring and wearing the expression of someone who just realized she was just fodder for bad grade. But here's where it gets genuinely interesting. Jessica allegedly possesses insurance. She has the message logs, the corroborating witness accounts, the late-night text dispatched from glamorous, high-profile events while she was presumably sitting at home, wondering why she had been kicked out of her Netflix session. That happens all the time. But the Mulroney family has reportedly iced her out completely, which is what powerful dynasties do when someone threatens to burn down the family legacy because she's finally tired of inhaling the smoke. These are these persistent whispers of a tell-all book in development. Not the kind of book that merely burns bridges, but the kind that drops a tactical nuclear device on the entire river, the surrounding watershed, and every living thing that ever drank from it, maybe including Harry. I don't know. The moral of this particular story is, don't befriend people who are more famous than you. And if you somehow do, never let them near your spouse, your phone, your digital passwords, or your carefully constructed social standing. Because by the time you finally understand that the penetrating conversation wasn't about the meaning of life or the nature of the universe, your actual life is already being packaged and sold to the highest bidder in a paperback edition with a sensational cover and a foreword by someone who also hates you. So, stay safe out there, my lovely royal rogues, and for the love of everything sacred, clear your browser history tonight. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. My name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the Royal Rogue. Much love and bliss.